Okay, guys, so Coco's banner is here, and the question on everyone's mind is, should you summon? I mean, Sophia was supposed to be here too, and so was August, but they got pushed back to whenever. They didn't mention when it's going to be coming, but Coco's here now, and that's probably a better thing, because if we followed the exact schedule, it would have went Sophia, August, followed by Coco, which is back-to-back banners, and that could have been really bad. At least now, with Coco coming up front, we can have a little bit of a buffer because there's three other banners after her, which means like we have 2 months of saving until Sophia and August banner happen, and also we could build up her trait skills because we have our daily memory stage. So the game plan's shifted a little bit, but not really. I probably would have still summoned for Coco regardless of whether or not I got Sophia and August, since she's meta for her role as a defender, unlike August and Sophia, who are just damage dealers for their respective roles. So you can't really compare the two. Coco's a defender, and just more comparable to someone like Metha, and you hear it all the time that the idea that she's Metha 2.0. But as we're gonna see right now, she's a bit better. Let's look at her kit. First is her trade skill. Basically, it reads like a logic game, right? Um, which says that at the beginning of the round, the two most HP percent characters get this breakfast buff. And then what breakfast buff says is at the start of the character's turn, they recover HP and dispel a debuff. Pretty simple. But then the last part of her trait ability says that she can also grant a character happiness. And happiness triggers when breakfast or bento are used. So when you get happiness to trigger, it reduces energy and CD cooldown for your skills. Yep, it's exactly as broke as it sounds. It dispels a debuff, restores HP, and also reduces energy consumption and cooldown. But you gotta have happiness to trigger. And unfortunately, right out of the box, there's only a percent chance to trigger it. But if you can max out her trait, you can guarantee that the happiness buff procs. And she also has the block ability, like most defenders have, to have a chance to reduce damage. And then her basic skill is just a regular attack, 100% attack. And then you can modify it with her rank 9 modifier. It gives it stun, and if you choose the other option, you can get some, I think it's physical and magic defense down. Nothing really too amazing compared to the rest of her kit. And then we get to the skill that she comes with, Try the Pan. Geez, this skill is pretty busted. I mean, maybe I'm just exaggerating, but it pushes an additional tile compared to Metha, and also lands Def down and Speed down. That's pretty crazy. And you know what? Like, I feel like you could even push a fourth tile if you equip that one hammer. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet. I'll try it probably later. And then her rank up skills are just really super overloaded. Let's start from right to left because a lot of her stuff are just really, really loaded. Uh, Iron Pot Stew. It's basically Metha's AoE heal buff skill, but instead of the defense up, she gives crit and crit damage. And also the Bento, which is basically a souped up version of the breakfast buff from her trait. Yeah, this skill feels like a direct upgrade to Metha's skill because I find myself needing to do more damage than having to get a little bit more of a defense buff, which is what Metha gives. I think also attack up, but they're all level 1. So yeah, this one's definitely a great upgrade. Next is her passive, which is pretty basic. As long as she's not dying, she can assist cover anyone that's within 2 tiles of her, and she can decrease the damage by 15%. Short, sweet, simple. It's basically what every other defender can do, but she just does it way better because it's built into her passive, so it's just always on. Unlike some defenders that only get the assistant cover through a skill use or something, some characters have it as a passive, like Papal Guard I think has it, but it's nice that she has it built in. You don't have to actually use it as an active skill. Alright, onto her passive, her reaction. Stay strong. When I first read this is what I thought was going to make her really strong. I mean, it's probably one of the least notable things about her kit, but I saw this and I thought to myself, she's a defender. She's going to be taking hits. And the reaction skill is she heals herself every time she takes a hit. And in addition to that, she's also going to heal the lowest HP character within 2 tiles by 12%. can be used twice per round. That's pretty useful. As a defender, she's going to take hits, heal. Wow. And then last but definitely not least is Coco's Treasure Chest. It is a 4-in-1 skill that just does basically everything. Her first skill, instant heals, and the second one heals and reduces energy. And the third skill dispels all debuffs, gives immunity, damage up, and damage mitigation. And then the fourth skill is basically like one of the weapon eroder skills mixed in with a Luxite bomb. So yeah, this skill does basically everything. It heals and does mitigation, dispels debuffs, gives immunity, and you can even deal damage with it. I think only the first skill has a cooldown. It has a 5-turn cooldown. All the other skills have a 1-turn cooldown, so I think they can be used every turn, but I haven't tried it yet. I'll take a look at that later. And that pretty much wraps up her main skills, but if you're willing to spend the Castillas on her and cast up some of her other skills, she can be built to be a very good range tank, kind of like how Pepal Guard is used in one of those weapon trials. And she also has a leadership aura for Veldurans, so if you're building a team around them, you could use her leadership skill. And then she also has this R1 skill that like applies vulnerable to an opponent or something like that. And I feel like that's a very valuable skill, but I don't know if we're ever going to use these skills outside for basic, special, unique skills. But it's good to have. You never know. I mean, the stage could have a damage check, and having invulnerable to debuff on your opponent could be the difference of winning. And so I think we can all agree that her kit is very loaded, and she makes for a very good defender. But is she worth upgrading if you have a Maitha, for example? She's not better in every aspect. I think Maitha has 20 more speed and maybe either higher she has higher defense, but not by much. If these things matter in a stage, maybe Maitha is a better pick. But generally speaking, I think all the other aspects of Coco make her a better candidate and a good reason to summon for her. But then again, you also have to consider the possibility that maybe it's not just having to summon Coco as a direct upgrade to a defender you have. For all you know, you might want to have multiple defenders, and having Coco will help other defenders clear a stage. But besides that, are those all the only reasons to summon for Coco? Are there other things? I muddled over this for a little while, and I made this little decision tree flowchart thing, and I just kind of came to the conclusion that I think I was going to summon for this character no matter what. I think the character does make the game a lot more fun, and they just happen to be meta also. So yeah, probably would have summoned. I added some stuff on there about like if you were interested in summoning for Akambe, Hasna, Homa, etc. But I like them too, but I think I'd still summon for Coco. It's just a really good character. Now, if Safi and August were, to come up in the next few weeks, that would make things a little bit more interesting. But I don't think it would have changed my decision. I would try to go for all three no matter what. But at this point, we just don't know. They could hold Safiya and August till whenever. We could be just waiting forever. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for listening to me muddle over my thoughts on Coco, and hopefully it was somewhat helpful. I'm going to be looking forward to burning those Luxites I've saved since day one for Safi, but you know what? No regrets. I also like Coco and was going to summon for her anyways. Hopefully we can bring her home early. Good luck to you guys, and hopefully you don't have to spend too many Luxites either. See you later, and take care.